Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Eurita Taylor with another episode of Unleashing Unlimited Power. The idea of this platform, like I've mentioned many times, is to speak to our millennium. We all know that sometimes our millenniums, they don't listen to their parents, they don't listen to teachers, they don't listen to their elders. And so this platform is designed so they could speak to each other, speak their truth, and try to help and motivate each other. Today we have with us Mr. Tahir Shabazz McQueen. Mr. Shabazz is in Cincinnati, Ohio, and he has graciously accepted my invitation. Welcome, Mr. Tahir. How are you
Thank you,
today?
Miss Rita. I'm doing pretty good today. I'm doing great. I'm actually in a good mood today.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. I caught you in a
I
good
know.
day, Dan. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great thing. That's good. I'm glad you're in a good mood because when you're in a good mood, you will tell all,
Yeah,
right?
you would tell all everything, nothing to hide today.
You will tell all. But thank you so much for joining me.
Mm,
I appreciate it. And I'm sure my viewers, when they tune in and hear this, there'll be something that they could say, oh, I learned something from Tahir. Okay, that's interesting. So make it as interesting as you can for me, please.
I'm
Okay,
an
I want
interested
to start.
person.
Yes, good. Thank you. I want to start by asking you, what is life like for you as a millennial in today's society?
It's okay. It's hard to get an apartment, house, maintain. Everything is expensive nowadays, so it's about balancing it out. But it's all right. I rather live in this era than the old era. So
Okay, good. So, tell me, what do you do for your occupation? What kind of work do you do?
I stock at Kroger, downtown Kroger. So I run the whole third shift at night. I do grocery. Sometimes I gotta do non-grocery, and I do frozen. So I run the whole store at night.
Oh, so you do it all. So you're like the night
Yeah,
manager. How do you get
yeah,
that position? What is it like to be at your age? You're 25, correct?
yeah.
And being a manager where people are expecting you to do certain things, people are counting on you. What is that like for you at such a young age?
Stressful. Ain't no life outside of work when you're a manager. It's stress. Uh, like the last 2 weeks, been it been hell. I ain't gonna lie. I've been doing roughly, I want to say, in the last 3 weeks, I did about 200 hours. 200 hours. I've been working
Wow.
13 hours, 10 hours, all to get the store clean, all maintenance for a walk that we had today. And like we got a new store manager, so I had to make it look like I could work, presentable, and all that stuff. It'd been living hell for the last 3 weeks. I ain't gonna hold you. I've been doing a whole bunch of hours.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
the
wow.
expectation is high, definitely since I'm the night shift, I got to put up the groceries. I got to condition the store for the morning shift. And so it's just a lot of work. And then they just add and add and add. And it's just like, eh, it's a headache
And
sometimes.
Kroger's is a very popular store around here. And I've been in that Kroger. Actually, I haven't been in that one since it opened up because I've
Uh,
pretty much been working at home. But I hear it's a big one and it's very nice. So it's a lot that's required of you to be able to do that job that you are. So let me ask you, in that sense, you're working all these hours, like you said, because you know that you have to work because you have to maintain certain things, your house and your car and all that. So let me ask you, on those days where you don't feel like going to work, those days where, man, I just got off a 12-hour shift, I'm not going to be able to go tomorrow, what is it that you tell yourself to get up and keep going?
I ain't going back to my mama house. I'm not going back to that house. I can't do it. So, so I get up
That's
every
a good
day.
one.
I
So
get
you
up
get up
every day
every
and
day
go every
because you
day.
like to maintain your independence.
Yeah. I don't like to be told what to do. And that's why I got my own place now. I got my own
Yeah.
everything. So, I can't. I love my mother, but I just can't live with her. There's different rules.
I know how that goes. And you are of age to live on your own. And that's
Hmm.
commendable in itself. So at one point you were going to college. Let's shift a little bit. At one point you were going to college. How far are you in finishing? Because I
I
know you
have,
told me you put it on hold. How far are
yeah,
you in finishing?
I have literally one semester left. maybe less than that. I had like 15 credits left. I was at the finish line.
So you're almost there.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm planning on going back, but right now I think I just need to maintain everything I got right now because I added more stuff onto me besides school. I think it'd be a little harder because the position I am now, and then going back to school, I don't think I could do it.
But you're this close. What can I say to you at this point that will get you to finish? Knowing that when you get finished, not only will you have a degree, but you'll also be able to make more money. More opportunities will be open to you, correct?
Yeah.
So what can I say to you at this point to get you go back and finish that one semester?
I don't know because it's more like a money thing because I have to pay back the money, but it's definitely on my mind to go back. I just need to how to set the plans because they sent it to how they sent their debt to the collection office and all that stuff. I think I just need to get in contact with that and just set it out. But I don't know. I lost
I
interest
think
in
you
school
need to
now.
go back. I think you need to go back. You are this close, one semester or
I
less.
know.
It will open up a bigger wallet for you, more opportunities. Like I said, I think you should go back. And I
It's
know it's
definitely the
hard.
plan.
I have been there. I have been there. It is hard. But because the longer you wait to go back, is what happens is some of those classes would have changed. And then the
Mm.
credits wouldn't even work to do what they're supposed to do initially. So you might have to retake classes. But that's just the thought. Let us get back to what this interview is really all about. So here you are, you're 25 years old, okay? And you're night manager at Kroger's. With everything that's going on in today's society, what are you doing for yourself beside work? How are you not only just staying in college, but how are you entertaining yourself? Because things have changed. We're no longer, be able to do a lot of things that we were able to do before COVID. COVID have hit. Some things I'm sure have changed in your life, within your friends and everything. How are you handling that?
Well, lately I've been hanging around my family more often, because I got a niece, I got a nephew. Me and my brothers are reconnecting, so we become closer over the past few months. So Thursday, my off days are Thursday and Friday, so I pretty much spend most of my time with them, or well, I'm always with my mom. Like I said, we get along great. The longer I live outside of her household, so that's pretty much my off days. And that's how I entertain myself. Chilling with them, spend more time. Since my nieces and nephew are young, I'd rather get to know them now before they get older in age and they don't know me. So, yeah.
Right. You're a manager, and some people, they stop there. What are your aspirations? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What do you see yourself doing?
I hope I'm not in the same position. I hope the goal is always to move up the ladder. You don't want to be. I don't like doing the same thing for a long period of time. So I always like to learn new things. Even now, as a night lead, I'm still learning morning shift. Like the person above my manager is the grocery manager, and he runs everything on the morning shift. So I'm learning from him, learning that stuff. So when I could take his relief, and you could take, so I'm learning more and more and more to move up the ladder. I don't want to be in the same position because 10 to 6 is not it. Night shift is not for everybody. It's a little stressful.
I know, and you definitely don't want to stay in the same position. Kroger is a good company to work for. I've never heard anyone complaining other than maybe the cashiers. But if you really think about it, you can move up the ladder in Kroger's.
Pretty
That I
quickly.
know for sure. Yes.
It took me like 2 years.
Wow. 2 years to get to manager. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Oh my gosh, that's really good. That's a lot of dedication though, isn't it? Going to work on time and making
All
sure you
time.
show up and you're doing the work.
Yeah, showing up. Well, the work. If you show up and do the work, I think it's easy to do that. If you just leave it. How some young folks are, like they don't want to work, but they work anyways with an attitude. If you just come in with man, I'm gonna get this over and go home, do what I gotta do, and just go, you be fine. I feel like that, but
Okay, you're on the right path right there. Go ahead, speak to the audience.
I don't know. Like from what I see, as I got I got 3 young people that's 18, 20, and 21, and they work to get paid, but they don't want to actually do the real work. So they there to get paid, but it's like, hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to do this, and like I'm not I tell my people all the time, I am not a glorified babysitter. We are here to work and go home. My goal is to go home just like your goal is to go home. I don't want to be here till 9 o'clock in the morning no more. We got to work, but they're young, so it's just like they I don't know. It's just they just
They
don't
don't
want to
get
work.
it.
Yeah,
They
it's
don't
just like,
get it.
but then it's like one of those things like they don't have. I don't want to say they got real bills because I don't know what they paying or nothing. But it's like once you get that freedom of on your own, you got to buy your food, car notes, your house, apartment, even groceries is even a bill, your phone bill. It's like it start adding up. That you really want to work. You want to stay extra time over and over again. And so, and I, like I said, the youngest I got is 18. He just got his first car. He's working. He's like, man, I pay $200 in every month. I was like, every 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Now you gotta come to work on time. Don't call off. Don't do nothing because if you miss that bill, they're gonna come and get your car. So he kind of catching on and working out. So, but the young generation, they just don't get the whole idea of working. It's just the
That is
attitude.
some good advice that you're putting out there because you're right. If you go and get yourself a car and you don't go to work to pay for your car, you better believe it's going to be repossessed. And then
Yeah.
that goes on your credit. So that's a good thing that you're telling him, come to work, show to work on time. But it's hard to get them to take that initiative to say, well, okay, I'm going to, put in the extra work. I'm going to work today. I'm going to work tomorrow. I'm not just going to show up to get a paycheck, but I'm going to put in the initiative. So you as a manager, what do you do to help your team, if anything, to be motivated?
Oh man, because I'm a fresh manager, I don't know too much. I ain't really good with people skills until I came in the position. But I do my best on like making them feel comfortable. Like I feel like the closer we are, the more you will work. I talk to them daily, give them encouragement words. Try to boost they confidence up in the work area, like in the work area, so that then they could work and know like, damn, I am doing a good job today. All right, I am doing man, I come to work because my boss ain't that bad, because it's just because I had good managers in my life, from Brittany to
Yeah.
Teresa. So,
Mm-hmm.
I take notes from them to like, try to be as positive as best, not come at everybody with an attitude like, well, you ain't finished this. This is not done. Because my managers wasn't like that. Brittany will pull us to the side like, hey, you could do this a little bit more often, So I take notes from her and I just keep pushing, like, hey, you doing this the right thing. You could work on this a little bit more. Or, yeah, I haven't had none of my coworkers like snapped at me, none of that. And I've been in business for a year, so I'm doing something right. Usually at least you get one person to yell at you. So
Well, that's a
that's
good
my
thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
the young guy. I talk to him daily. I used to take him home, try to help him out, And so he catching on. He's still young. You know how you 18, you just want to do everything but work, moving fast.
Oh gosh, I hear about that. I'm sure you listen to the news or you've heard other people talk about, what's going on in the society today. A lot of people are depressed. I'm sure you've seen that, or maybe you've been there yourself. You've heard about, the suicide rate. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, I think suicide is never the answer. I think we all can work out our problems out with the right person. I think everybody need a strong support group, and it's hard to find a actual strong support group. So close friends. Um, for me, it's my mom. I tell my mom everything. From it don't matter. She know everything. If I ever in trouble, she knows. And like if I get sad or depressed, like she's the first person I call because like it's non-judgmental. That's what you need. You need a non-judgmental friend or person in your life where you could just go and say, I'm not feeling it today. Like, you could tell me, man, I've been thinking about suicide lately. And they like, nah, that's not cool. You gotta, everything will get better. In my head, that's how I put it. Everything will get better sooner or later. It's just shitty at the moment, you know? Yeah,
That's a good way of thinking about it. Everything will get better because that's true. Sorrows don't last forever. Nothing lasts forever. Today you might
nothing.
wake up and you're feeling really happy and you're joy-go-lucky, and then something happens tomorrow and it changes. So that's a good way of looking at it. Nothing lasts. The sorrow is not going to last. It will get better. That's a very good way at it. So in that context, I would like you to speak to my audience. Let's say, for instance, there's some people that are listening and they're not in a very good place right now. Okay, you're speaking to your peers. So these are
Mm,
people that are in your age group, your age bracket, and they're not in a very good place, whether it be they're feeling depressed, they have suicidal thoughts, or they just not really, like you young people say, vibing. I hope I said that correctly because if I don't, my son is going to get me. And, with what's going on in their life at that moment, speak to them. Tell them what you would like them to know.
I've been there. I've been real sad, because my dad died from diabetes, and I got caught with type 1, and
I'm
so
sorry about that.
yeah, so I did everything in my part not to have it, and then I still get hit with it, and dealing with it, like dealing with having type 1 and being close to his age when he passed, it hit me hard. I said, you know what, fuck,
I bet.
forget everything. I'm gonna start drinking soda. It's like, why do anything matter at this point, man? Just not really caring what happened at the point or what's going on. And then it's just like, it's either I could, keep hurting myself or hurting the people around me. Leaving the people around me hurt, like, so you need to take care better of yourself, or like, man, whatever. It don't matter what I do at this point. I'm already type 1, but like, you just gotta stay positive. It comes from within. You got to be like, this is what I want. I want to keep going. I want to keep doing this. It's like I said, nothing lasts forever. I'm a type 1, but like there's steps that I can take to maintain it and still live a healthy life. Or like, if school not going your way, it's like your grades gonna get better. It's just this year, or next year might be easy for you. Or like, mom getting on your nerves. I've been there. And I've been kicked out the house multiple times. So it's just like, I've been couch surfing, been home, experienced homelessness. But stuff get better, and that's all I can say. It's just like, you're not going to be in the same position you was from yesterday or 2 years ago, along you working to be better, and
Right.
it's going to take time. I mean, it's going to take a long time to get better, but along you have in your head to move forward, and the past is the past. The future is still, there's a chance to hold your future on tight. It's one of those, you just got to be strong. I mean, it's hard to be strong sometimes, but if you have it, you could do it. I think everybody could do it, maintain it, and be positive. That's why I think that's the most important. You can't just doubt yourself, and that's why a lot of us just doubt ourselves. Like, I can't do this no more, and I can't live no more. Like, I can't keep going. I can't do this no more. I can't deal with this. But you can. You definitely
Right.
can.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just gotta be strong sometimes.
I applaud you because you're living on your own. You have your bills and everything to pay, and then you're battling an ailment. I applaud you that you could still be so positive, because what you're saying is that I have days where I'm not 100%. I'm battling this ailment, and I'm still going to work. I'm putting in 12-hour shifts, 13-hour shifts, and I'm still trying to find the good things in life to surround me. I commend you. I really do. And I
Thank
just
you.
hope and pray that what you're saying here, somebody can actually take it into consideration and it helps them to get out of where they're at, because life is not easy. It's really
No.
not. And it makes it even harder when you have young ones to take care of. So at least you don't have any children yet. Not that it's a bad thing to have them, but you're trying to get yourself together before you get there. And that's a
Yeah.
really good decision. Let me get myself together before I start to build a family. And that's really I commend you on that. That's really a good thing to do. So now let's shift the topic a little bit. So, relationships.
Oh God.
you know, I I pause because I'm gonna touch on that. Come on now, relationship. You got to give our young people relationship advice. Go on,
Yeah.
take the mic.
From what I learned, as you know, Miss Rita, I do a lot of crazy stuff in my life with relationships. But the best thing is communication. Be patient. Uh, hear the person now. It took me a long time to actually learn how to treat a woman. To get them the right things, or you just don't want to shower them with gifts. It's a more emotional connection. You gotta take their feelings into consideration. And like that, it was really hard for me to be emotionally attached with a woman, because I couldn't do it for a long period of time. And then I actually hear them out, like, hey, you doing this wrong. I don't like this. Can you please change this? And it's not you shouldn't be like, well, that's just me. You know what I mean? You should, if you want to be with a person, you should actively change it. Change your ways for the person if you want to be with them. Because I mean, if that's who you want to be with, then yeah, you should. But if not, then I feel like you shouldn't have to change if that's not the person you want to be with. But a male woman would change for their loved one if they really, really want to be with them. And it's all coming down to communication, how you feel. If you're not feeling good, you still communicate. Definitely when you're living with each other. Oh my, it take a lot of communication to if you're living with each other. That's 24/7, every day, dishes, two different living styles. Uh, it's just hard, and like I said, just come down to, hey, I don't like what you did today. Never in public, always in the house. When it's just you two, just tell her like, hey, I didn't like how you do this, or hey, what you did was not right. I didn't appreciate how you treated me today. And take that advice and like, okay, well, I could do this different. Okay, I'll come better. I'll talk to you better in this way, or maybe it's my turn to cook. And give each other a break. You don't want to keep getting on each other's nerves. It's just not good. I've been in a few situations where I just don't listen, just don't care to listen. But now it's a little bit different because I'm listening, communicating how I feel, expressing how I feel, um, being more active in the relationship. Doing more things than just, oh, let's go out to eat, or let's date, or let's sit in the house. There's more like, hey, you wanna just talk? I mean, I'm down for a deep conversation all the time. To get deeper into each other's lives. That's the best thing I can say about relationship. Just communication and have deep conversations to figure out if that person is for you. But yeah, it's hard. Relationships are hard. Uh, it took me a long
Yes,
time to
it
find.
is.
It took me a long time.
But at least you're learning.
Yeah.
Because what I'm hearing you saying is you're learning and you're trying to figure out the other gender. Because what I'm hearing you saying is not about you all the time. You have
Nah,
to, let that other person voice their opinions.
because they people too. Like I said, they get on your nerves. They are human beings that have expressions, feelings, and all that. And sometimes, women got harder than us. Women got harder than us. They working, you work their side work, cook, clean, wash clothes. So I'm like, yeah, let me calm down. I don't need to get on your nerves today. You did enough. So, it's all about getting a break.
I love it. I love it. I love what I'm hearing from you because when we met, I don't know how many years ago, it was so different. And now what I'm hearing is maturity. You're maturing and you're
Yeah.
realizing, okay, I want to be in a relationship. I have to give. I have to listen. I have to give up my ear. I have to give up my time and realize that the other person is important. Well, that is so awesome. I am so proud of you. You are
Thank
so
you.
certainly
I
maturing.
know. I came a long
It
way,
is
Miss
good to
Rita.
hear. Yes, you have. You have come a long way, and I am so proud of you. I really am. I am so proud of you. Now, I have one last question before I let you go, and I think you
Hmm?
know what that question is. Your spirituality.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I just believe in doing the right thing.
And what's the right thing?
like I believe in good karma and I believe in bad karma. You know, I think everything, the energy you put into the world will come back into the world. And I try to tell all my workers, my coworkers, my whoever it is, to be a better person. You know, it don't matter what the situation is, just be a better person because like karma is gonna come around and bless you. You know, because I gotta say I've been blessed and I haven't been a negative person for real. You know, we all gonna have our days where we negative, you know. But for most part, it's just all positivity. Like you could do it, you know. I do food for the homeless, give out food to my coworkers. I do whatever I need to be, you know, to be positive and hoping that positivity gives off rub off on my young coworkers or like whoever it is. Like that person might have a shitty day, so I might as well, you know, hey, look on the bright side about this, or hey, you know, ultimately it just comes down to that, you know, good karma, bad karma. I don't want to be, like I said, I've been blessed. I got my own place. I move up in position. I got my car. My house is furniture. You know what I mean? It's just one of those like good stuff keep coming and keep coming because I feel like I'm giving out my energy to people by saying, well, you can't give your, you know how they be on Facebook, like you can't give your energy
Right.
out to everybody. No,
Hmm.
I have enough energy to last it forever. So take some. Like, you know, I just feel like it's just the right thing to do. The world is already negative and beating on us. I don't need someone else negativity beating on me. No, I'm gonna give
Right.
you this positivity, and we just gonna work like that. Maybe your positivity rub off the next person, But I don't believe. I try not to be as negative as another person. Or life is already hard as it is. I
Yes,
can't do it.
that is true.
So
That is true.
you
That
know,
is true. So, on a final note, if there is one thing you could tell my audience, what would it be?
um, if you're struggling with suicide, there are better days to come. You just have to be positive. You just got to reassure yourself. I think most part is just give yourself the confidence, you know. Yeah, I ain't really started believing myself until I gave myself the confidence, you know, like you could really do this. You are actually smart. You are actually hard work, you know. And then, you know, it helps when other people around you tell you the same thing. And it's like, all right, I could do this, you know. So you just surround yourself with the right support group, be the best person, be the best version you could be, not what somebody else wants you to be. You know, and that's another thing. That's another thing. You know, it's so many parents that try to force their kids to be something they're not. You know, instead of taking notes on what they do and actually like, you know, oh, my son is good at this, or my son or daughter is good at this. I should push them in that situation. But now, you
Mhm.
know, parents force kids and mold them to what they shouldn't be. Figure yourself out, find your passion, and move forward. You know, life get better, life get easier. It don't get easier. It just it get hard. But if you find the right people, the right support group, and the longer you believe in yourself, I feel like life get easier for you. And then you just learn how to take it day by day and move forward. You know, you won't worry about the past too much. You always worry about what's happening the next day and the next day. What can I do better the next day? Or just moving forward. It's hard, but once you have that mindset as everything not gonna last forever, my future is my future. I think I think we all could be successful.
And I know I said that was the last thing, but you said something that I really need to touch on. You said that, and I'm paraphrasing, it's not what the parents want, but the kids, they need to find out what they want and move with their own passion. How important do you think that is for our young people for today? So that they're not left in a situation where they're, in order to to meet their goals for themselves and try to please their parents, that they don't end up depressed or even suicidal.
I think it's very important for everybody to figure out their own passion. Your passion is never really it could line up with your parents, but from what I learned, it's never the same. You know, it's important to because if you follow their dreams, then you're not really living your dreams. It's like you just need to I just break off, find your right passion, work it out, and like work because you'd be more happier doing something you love than something you don't love, and that's what make everybody sad, depressed, and just like you not if your feelings not into your work or your relationship, it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? You gotta put your heart out there and just take it. You just find that passion and just keep moving forward. I think it's very important. And when I have my kids, I'm gonna try to help them in their strong areas instead of like well, I want you to be this. I want you to do this way. There's multiple
Right.
ways of doing something the right way, you know? So,
Yes. And ultimately, it's so that they themselves could be happy. That's what I'm hearing you
yeah,
saying, because I will not know what make my children happy, just like they
yeah,
won't know what make me happy to the full extent. So it's about finding out who you are, what you're passionate about, so that you could bring that to the surface. And I believe then that it will lessen the depression and the unhappiness of our young people.
yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Once they find something they really strong about and get out they, because it did it. My parents did it to me about pushing school or whatever, college, or you got to be an engineer. When I wanted to be an engineer, it's like, oh, because my dad said, "Oh, you should be an engineer." I'm like, okay, I'm along with this. Not knowing what it takes to be an engineer. It's like, oh, I'll be an engineer, and not liking it. Like taking 2 classes, like, oh no, this ain't for me. And I'm a freshman in college trying to look for what to do, wasting a whole year. You don't want to do that, And then high school forcing like, well, you got to go to college to make money. It's not necessarily true. Trade school, it's less money. If you're an artist, you can always have your own business on the side, you know. And I feel like some parents should invest into the kids because some of these kids got real talent. And that's
Yeah.
the and then that talent get passed by because some parents believe, well, school's more important. I mean, if they have real raw talent, then you got to explore that. You know what I mean? To the
Right.
fullest. While pushing school, you know what I mean? You got to make both a lifestyle for the child in the best way possible. I wish it was done for me, And I see my nieces and nephews. I was like, oh, well, I hope since I'm here, I'm gonna try to push them to express they talent as best as possible before they parents mess them up. Hopefully not.
Right. 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 So they could be who they are meant to be and not what other people want them to be. I always say that all the time. When you find your purpose, try to tap into your purpose and be who God meant for you to be, not who the world wants you to be.
Man,
Ty, thank you so much for joining
no
me. This
problem,
was an
Miss Rita.
awesome interview. I just want to encourage you to continue to fight for the best. You're doing really good. You have your own
Thank
place,
you.
you have your own car, you're a manager at Kroger, and we all know Kroger is a great place to work. I just want to continue to encourage you to continue to choose the right path and do the right thing. I think you're doing an awesome job, and I know that my listeners are going to be very excited to hear what you have to say. And so,
No
thank
problem.
you so much for joining in.
Thank you, Miss
This is
Rita.
Dr. Rita ending another episode of Unleashing Unlimited Power. Thank you guys for joining in. If you would like to be a guest on this show, please send me an email at unleashingunlimitedpower@gmail.com. We welcome youth from 15 years old up to 40 years old. You're either going to encourage the younger ones and give them some advice, or you're just going to share your motivation, your drive, or whatever it is that's going on with your life to help the others listening. Thank you so much for joining in. I welcome everyone. Thank you. Bye.